You're listening to the Custom Built Podcast. In today's episode, we're going to discuss who we surround ourselves with matters and reflects who we are in all parts of our life. And maybe a little bit of Halloween chat too. So stay tuned. All right, if you're watching on YouTube, you're catching this episode. I am wearing a K-pop Demon Hunter wig because guess what we're doing this Halloween? Yeah, we're gonna be K-pop Demon Hunters. These wigs are pretty legit. I'm really excited about it, and it's long and it's heavy. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. Me and the kids are gonna be the Huntrix or Hunters. I don't remember their name. And their dad is going to be dressing up as one of the Saja boys. It's going to be so fun. And this just came in today and I just wanted to try it out. And it's just so funny. So here we are. We're going to start this little episode with a little fun. I cannot wear this though this whole time. So I am going to take it off. It's a little toasty. Okay. So bear with me. I mean, look at this. It's massive. It keeps going. All right, all fun aside, okay, guys, I got a really good episode for you. And of course, I think it's good. It's been kind of this part of conversations that I've been having recently with people, and it had me thinking about not just who I'm talking to, but what I'm talking to, how I'm spending my time, and why is this all even relevant to home building and to us as individuals. So when I was first coming up with this idea, I was really thinking like who I was going to talk to primarily for this episode. And my thought was to other home builders, because who we surround ourselves with our trades, it speaks to who we are as a company, right? I know that sounds pretty obvious, right? Like who we have showing up is a representation of us as a builder. However, do you think about the kind of conversations you're having with them? Sure, they can look professional, they can act professional, but do you align professionally? Do you align a little personally? It doesn't need to be super personal. You don't have to have the same views or anything, but what about how you communicate? Do you align there? And so a recent conversation I was having, we were talking about our trades, and we were discussing about like how we can move forward and working with who we like and how we want to work with everybody and how we're going to send them jobs for them to bid. And it clicked to me in part of this conversation as we were, talking about like the future and the growth and what that's going to mean, like kind of having like our A players and who we want to work with the most. And then like if they kind of slip a little bit, like having a conversation about being like, hey, you're still great. We want you on the team. But, we're going to probably start, maybe paying a little less or not giving you as many jobs or the volume, like the size of the job that we have. And so I thought at that moment was more of like, yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think this will show us who we're working with, because at that moment, they'll have two options to really communicate back with us. And they're either going to play the blame game. Oh, this is all your fault. This is unreasonable. Da, 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 like whatever. Or they can take a moment, sit back and reflect and say, maybe I really haven't been showing up the way I used to. Or, you know what, I don't agree with this. And I'm going to sit down with you and I'm going to talk to you. And this is why I don't agree with you, and have a very respectful conversation. That is who I want to be working with. Those are the types of people who I want to surround myself not only with my trades, but also with my business partners, even clients, homeowners, my friends, the people I spend my energy around. I want to have forward-thinking people all around me. And why is that? It's because it's a value that I care about. I care about growth. I care about self-growth, not just like Like, let me grow in my business. Like, that's important. But how can I show up as a better version of myself each day, right? The competition isn't who I'm up against. It's really about me and who I was yesterday or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. That's my competition. It's myself. And so when I think about who I want to surround myself with, I don't want to surround myself with people who are fear-based, who have big limiting beliefs, who keep them playing small. Okay. We all have beliefs. We all have something that's going to be like, no, that's impossible. And that's not what I'm talking about. Of course, we all have it. I have it. I even caught myself having this belief that I was talking out loud at my gym, and I didn't catch myself until later when I was thinking back to that conversation. I was like, oh, I just had a big realization that I've had this belief for so long and I voiced it. Like, that was what's been going in my head. So to be clear, I'm not talking about you can't have any beliefs or blocks. I'm talking about the ones that are like, that's impossible. You'll never do it. Like, who do you think you are to try and do something like that? I don't want those types of people in my corner. I don't want them surrounding me. I want the people that are like, that sounds wild. Go for it. Or even if they're like, that sounds crazy and maybe not my cup of tea, but you go for it. Like, you don't have to agree with me, but I want someone that's going to like not tell me that I'm crazy for even attempting it or even thinking it, or try to shoot it down before it even gets started. I want someone that's going to talk me through it. I want to hear their insights. I want someone that's, and I want to make sure that I'm talking to people who have similar experiences or have done something before. So if I'm looking to grow my business and take it to the next level, I'm not talking to somebody that's just starting up their business and never done this before. I'm going to get their insight. I want to hear like their side. But when it comes to taking advice and taking into consideration the next steps I'm going to take, I'm going to talk to somebody that's been there, that's have real life experience, right? That doesn't mean I'm not going to hear anybody or talk to anybody that hasn't been there yet, because especially if we're having like a deep connection of just conversations and insight, if it's somebody that I respect and their thoughtfulness, I'm going to have those conversations. We don't always have to be doing the same thing. That felt like something I needed to clarify there. But I'm not just going to go ask anybody that's in business if where they are isn't where I'm trying to be. So why is that important for my trades and for my businesses and what I'm doing here, what my purpose is, and why it's important for you as a home builder or even you as a homeowner is think about who you spend your time and energy with and how the conversations that you're having, if they are energizing or are they draining or neutral, right? Neutral is an option. But if I'm surrounding myself with trades who tell me that the homeowner that wants something like this really cool built in, and they're coming to me and telling me that's an impossible build, I don't think that's the right trade, one, for the job, because they're obviously telling me they don't have the skill set for it. But not just that, I'm also thinking about, okay, so what are they going to do on the next challenge? If their first reaction is, no, that's impossible, and then that's the end of it, I don't know if I'm going to come to them for problem solutions. But if I come to somebody and they say, wow, that is really intricate, or this will be really challenging, and I don't think I have the skill set for it, but these are some ideas that I think might work, or that'd be a really cool concept once it's put together. I mean, just that positive switch and that way that we approach things, like that energy is very different than that's impossible, they're crazy. Do you see the difference there? So I am always looking for people who are going to align with me in that type of way. I want people who, like I said, are forward thinkers and are problem solvers and who are ambitious and who want to get a little crazy and take a chance. Now, fear is a funny thing. It's something that keeps people playing small. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that with judgment. I know fear personally and how it's affected me and my own personal growth for a very long time. So that is not something that I say in jest. But fear and the people that I want to surround, like, I'm past that now, right? I'm sure there's fears still that I'm working through. But I want people who've also worked through their fears, who have taken a chance on themselves or taken a chance in general and see that they were okay on the other side. Or maybe they did hit a rock bottom, but they've built up and they're still okay, right? It ended up being okay, and they can see that as the big picture. And I want to partner with that, because what I'm doing by aligning with people similar to that mindset, to people who align with what I value, to what I think is important. Now, you might not value, this might not resonate with you. This might not even make much sense, right? And that's okay. The point is to find people who align with you in ways where your values, what you're doing, it all stays consistent across all lines. So what I'm doing in business and who I surround myself there is going to be similar to what I'm doing in my personal life and who I'm talking to and who I'm spending my time and energy with and the conversations I'm having. If a conversation is draining me, if somebody drains me more than they energize me in an interaction, I'm going to probably distance myself more. I'm very protective over my time and my energy. But if you've been around for a little bit and you've listened to a couple other episodes, you would know that for me, time is finite and I value my time very much. And in return, I value your time very much. And so I don't want to be spending my time, this little bit of time that I have, on things that drain me, things that require me to recharge every time we have a conversation. Now, again, this isn't just like one extreme to the other. Of course, there's going to be times where not all conversations are going to be energizing, but I want majority of my conversations that I'm having to have me buzzing and excited about what I'm doing and the things I am going after. And if I have a conversation and I'm sharing with you my trade or homeowner, and we're talking about a project and it's exciting, and all I'm hearing is this can't happen, this is why it won't work, these are all the problems, here's the negative, 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 I am not going to be there for this. I'm not going to move forward working with a trade that is a negative Nancy all day long. I want the one that's excited to do this work with me, who wants to co-create this homeowner's dream. And as a homeowner, would you rather have somebody that is passionate about what they're doing and excited for the work that they're doing, and the people that are also working on your home to have at some capacity, the same energy? Or would you rather have somebody who just isn't in it all the way? And what about in your personal life? Are you surrounding yourself? It's a mirror at this point, right? So the things we say, the things we do, the people we surround ourselves is a mirror to who we are and the quality that we share. So I am not going to listen to certain types of music and watch certain shows if it makes me feel bad. And this was another conversation I was just having recently with a friend. Like, I actually can't listen to some music, like songs that I used to love when I was younger. Like, I would bop hard to them. But when I listen to them now, I'm like, ugh, like, I don't like this message. This does not feel good to me anymore. I don't feel good singing these words out loud. And I want people who are also recognizing that type of like layer of awareness to themselves, I want that around me. That might be more of like my personal circle. I don't expect every professional that I encounter to be on that same wavelength. But what I am looking for are the ones that are ambitious, that are problem solvers, that are going to come to me with a problem and a solution. A problem and I already fixed this, right? Or a problem and I messed up. This is bad. I took care of it and this is how I did it. And this is what I think we should do in the future. Or even come to me and say, Katie, you messed up. And this is why. And have that space for someone to feel comfortable to have that feedback to me. I don't want people next to me that's only going to cheer me on and lift me up. Like, that's important. But there's also a balance. I want people to call me out. I want to be called out on my bullshit. I want someone to say, that wasn't cool, and I don't think you meant it because it doesn't align with everything else that I know about you. And I want to have those deep conversations too. And that's professionally, that is personally, that's across the board. And when we are living our lives in that type of energy and alignment, I know these are like hot words and I'm lacking in better descriptions right now, but when we are living in that space, then it leaves little for others to question about your intentions and who you are and what you stand for. And these are conversations I'm having with my kids. You know, they're little still. They don't always fully understand it. But when I talk about, you know, the value of people's time, like my daughter was having a really hard time at school with her work plans. And I recognized, and then with her friends, like she was literally scheduling her friends to play with. And then me on top of it, who's a project manager who structures construction jobs, who need to be on time and have a strict schedule a lot of the times, is not helping her anxiety around time and how it feels overwhelming for her, and to see all the tasks that she's got to do in a week. And then she has me, her mom, saying, come on, let's go get up, and come on, finish eating, we have to go. I recognize that. But I also am not going to change that time is important to me. And so that conversation I had with her was, one, we're going to talk to your teacher, because what I'm hearing is you just need to see a smaller section of days work. So maybe you need a day-by-day planner instead of a full week planner. And that might chunk it down a little bit for you, because even as adults, when we have a long, daunting task list, it's overwhelming and we tend to get paralyzed. The difference is we don't have a teacher and grades that we need to worry about on our shoulders, right? We just have our own responsibilities. And when we don't do something, we have the consequences. I mean, they have the consequences too, but again, we get it, right? So for me, having to explain to her that I value time, and when we have a time commitment and it's important to show up and to respect other people's time, I told her I realized that my approach for her has not helped her anxiety around time for her. And so I'm not changing my values, I'm changing my approach when I speak to her. And that was such a moment in our relationship that I recognized, like, I'm adding more stress to my kids' life, and I just want to be somebody that is a safe space for them, that, you know, they can come home and take a breath next to. I don't want to be a cause of stress for my kids. I mean, obviously we'll stress each other out. Again, these are two extremes, but for the majority, I don't want to be a stressor on my kids. I want them to come home from their stress lives of school and friendships and have space at home where they can just decompress. And then the same thing with my son. He wasn't having a time issue. We were having more of a keep my word and patience. But, you know, he wanted to decorate for Halloween, and I had to do things before we can really get the decorations out and going. And he also wanted to do pottery. And again, it wasn't just something that was set up and ready to go. I had to kind of prepare, plus all the general household responsibilities that I got to do. And so for him being 6, it was, he was being so patient, but he was like, I want to do it and I want to do it right now. And I had to have a conversation about how I don't lie to him and how keeping my word is also something very important to me. And when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to follow through, because I believe that we are only as good as our word. Because words, you can say all the words you want, but if your actions don't follow what you say, I mean, to me, that shows me right now that you're unreliable. And I don't personally want to be unreliable. And so obviously patience at a 6-year-old, and he was so excited to do these things, was hard for him. But also, he knows that when mom says we're going to do something, we're going to do it. And on those times where I just missed it, I didn't get it, then I apologized to him. But I also told him how I keep my word to myself too. And that's really important, and how our words are powerful. And I know this is kind of a tangent, but it's relevant because it all comes back to how I'm handling my business and when I'm with homeowners, and then my personal life. It all aligns. When I say I'm going to do something for a homeowner, if I don't do that, I'm taking it personally, and then I'm apologizing it and I'm fixing it. And then I reflect on it. I don't just say like, oh no, I messed up, and then I move on. Like, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think like, why didn't I pull through when I said I was going to? I also don't beat myself up about it. I might for a minute, but for the most part, I don't let it linger, right? We're humans. We're going to make mistakes. We're not going to always get it. And then also with time, if I'm not going to show, like if I know I'm going to be late, I'm messaging you. I'm telling you I'm going to be even 2 minutes late, because I think that's a form of respect. But those are my values. Those are the things that are important to me. But I'm going to do that in all aspects of my life, because if I miss it in one and I'm not doing it in an area, but I'm doing it in another, that's a disconnect. I am not being clear on who I am and how I show up in this world and what's important to me. Now you may question my values and maybe not trust me, and maybe not, find me reliable. I might have said that already, so now I'm repeating myself. But it's important to just make sure you're doing a little self-reflection on how you're speaking, who you're aligning yourself with, and who you're spending your energy on, and what energizes you and what drains you. But as a home builder, and the people that you hire and bring on your team, including your internal employees, including your subcontractors, if you are not in alignment in some form and that message isn't clear across the board, then how are your homeowners going to know you? How are your homeowners going to understand why you're doing what you're doing? And how are your homeowners going to know that they can rely on you? And I want to leave you with that, and maybe a couple of questions on who in your life energizes you and who in your life drains you. And think about if maybe you might be somebody that drains others, or maybe you're the one that brings them up. Do a little self-reflection on this, maybe journal about it a little, and just see what comes up for you, and see if it's consistent across the board. Are you showing up professionally, personally, for yourself, interpersonally? What's that look like for you? So that's what I have for you today. I hope this was insightful. I hope this has you thinking a lot about, who you're surrounding yourself with, and if they feel like the right fit for you and your business and for maybe your home project and your growth. And let me know if you found value in this, and, send a review, send it to your friends. Make sure you subscribe and follow. Samson wants to make sure you do that as well. He means it. And I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day and a beautiful week. and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. Thank you for hanging out today. If you liked what you heard, please make sure you hit subscribe, and I hope to see you again next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.